have some updates on Johnny Somali. His real name is Ramzi Khalid Ismail. He's currently banned from leaving Korea. He's currently facing multiple felony charges for disturbing the statue of peace or assault, trespassing, and drug use. If convicted, they're saying that he can face a prison sentence of 10 years.
Johnny Somali has just dropped the most outrageous video, igniting a massive backlash in South Korea that could land him behind bars even sooner than anyone expected. This latest stunt proves that karma doesn't miss, and Johnny is about to feel its full weight. The South Korean public isn't just angry, they're furious. Reports even suggest that some have resorted to extreme measures to send Johnny a message. He's not welcome, and his antics won't be tolerated. In this now infamous video, Johnny appears surrounded by South Korean teens who are eagerly crowding around him and jostling for a picture. But instead of taking this as a chance to humble himself, Johnny doubles down, calling himself an influencer, and even going as far as claiming he's a freedom fighter for free speech and a role model to these children. His video's caption read, "I'm influencing the youth of Korea." It's almost laughable, but the reality is far more troubling. If by influence, Johnny means teaching kids how to ruin their futures with disrespect and reckless behavior, then sure, he's got that covered. But the audacity didn't stop there. What really lit the fire was Johnny uploading this video on TikTok, a platform known for its viral reach. And as expected, the fallout was immediate and intense. South Korean citizens weren't the only ones enraged. Government officials were quick to take notice as well. The backlash wasn't just online, it spilled into real life, creating an atmosphere of outrage across the country. To make matters worse, Johnny captioned the TikTok with an inflammatory message aimed directly at his critics and authorities. Show this to the judge and the prosecutor. There will always be new Johnny Somalis, even when I leave. This wasn't just arrogance, it was a direct challenge to a legal system known for its strictness. By openly mocking the justice system and insinuating he'd inspire others to follow in his footsteps, Johnny has placed himself in an incredibly precarious position. Given South Korea's notoriously tough laws, particularly on influencing youth and cultural disrespect, Johnny could easily find himself facing another decade behind bars. This reckless move didn't just add fuel to the fire, it poured gasoline on it. The fallout is just beginning, and it's clear Johnny Somali is playing a dangerous game he's unlikely to win. For now, Johnny Somali is reveling in the chaos he's created. His videos are going viral, racking up thousands of comments. Most of them, unsurprisingly, are filled with people expressing their wish to see him get what many feel he deserves. A good smackdown courtesy of South Koreans. But for Johnny, engagement is engagement, and he seems to thrive on the negativity, brushing off the backlash as long as his name remains trending. One ex-user shared their thoughts on the situation, summing up the collective frustration. Messing with their kids and trying to influence bad behavior will be the last straw. I hope he gets sent away for a long time. This sentiment mirrors the growing outrage, especially among South Koreans who feel Johnny has crossed every imaginable line. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Johnny Somali's controversial video gained unexpected traction among South Korean students. While some initially seemed amused or neutral, others began mass reporting the video. The intention was clear: to shut him down and ensure his message didn't spread further. The pressure worked, and soon after the video gained traction, Johnny's TikTok account was permanently banned. This was a significant blow for him, as TikTok had been one of his main platforms for spreading his antics and gaining visibility. Having already faced restrictions or bans on other platforms, this marked another critical step towards silencing his toxic content. South Koreans and Americans alike are now rallying to get Johnny Somali banned from every remaining platform. The collective goal is to block his ability to stream his inflammatory content, which for someone like Johnny is akin to cutting off his lifeline. Without the ability to stream, Johnny would not only lose his main source of income, but also his primary outlet for attention and validation. Legal experts suggest that any court proceedings against Johnny could take anywhere from 2 to 4 months to unfold. Until then, he's essentially stuck in a country where he's become public enemy number one. Reports suggest that many locals harbor deep resentment toward him, and some have allegedly even issued threats on his life. To make matters worse for Johnny, his financial situation could soon take a nosedive. Without streaming, he has no steady income, and the money he does have will likely be drained on legal fees and securing basic necessities in South Korea. It's a precarious position for someone who thrives on chaos and thrives off attention. As soon as Johnny Somali's pockets run dry, reality will hit him hard, and the regret for his reckless videos will set in like a tidal wave. The once smug provocateur will be forced to face the consequences of his actions in a way he clearly didn't anticipate. The South Korean government might even offer him an option: pay a massive fine and get deported. But here's the kicker. By the time this happens, Johnny will likely be bankrupt. If he fails to pay the fine, he won't just be deported. He'll be serving a prison sentence in South Korea far longer than anything he ever imagined. Meanwhile, the uproar isn't just confined to South Korea. US citizens have started a petition demanding the revocation of Johnny Somali's citizenship. What's more surprising is that some believe the US government might actually consider it. Somali's actions have not only tarnished his reputation, but have also embarrassed his home country, leaving many to wonder if such measures might finally put an end to his antics. Adding fuel to the fire, new reports from South Korea have revealed yet another shocking stunt. A user on X posted, "On the base timeline, Johnny Somali just did the chase glitch at an ATM in Hokkaido and live streamed it." For those unfamiliar, the chase glitch is a technical loophole, allowing someone to use a fake check to withdraw money from an ATM. This stunt clearly shows that Johnny is running out of options and scrambling for cash. Insiders believe he's spiraling, resorting to increasingly desperate measures to sustain himself. If this continues, some speculate that Johnny may even stoop to extreme methods to make money, including potentially selling himself for survival. The speculation around his downfall has gotten so bizarre that people are jokingly suggesting South Korean men might pay him for his services. While these comments highlight the absurdity of the situation, they also underscore just how far Somali's reputation has fallen. But Johnny's desperation took an even stranger turn just a day ago when he uploaded yet another video to TikTok. Despite having been banned, the video somehow surfaced with the audacious title, "Johnny Somali Escapes to the True Korea." While the exact content of the video remains unclear, the title alone has sparked a frenzy online, with many interpreting it as either a dig at South Korea or a delusional attempt to shift the narrative. And no, Johnny Somali hasn't escaped this time either. It's clear at this point that the guy is rage baiting everyone. In his latest stunt, he referred to North Korea as True Korea in a TikTok caption, a move that insulted millions of South Koreans. This caption alone could land him additional years behind bars, as South Korean judges are unlikely to take lightly what could be interpreted as promoting a North Korean agenda. After causing yet another wave of outrage, Somali appears to be trying to lay low, though not very successfully. Recent reports claim he's been spotted in public, covering up with a hoodie and a cap while riding the subway. But little does he know, the authorities and a watchful public have him under constant surveillance. There are even rumors of individuals waiting for the perfect moment to confront him if he dares pull another stunt. Despite this, Johnny continues to stir the pot online. His "Escape to the True Korea" video was absurd in every sense, filled with screaming and nonsensical claims. The content was so outlandish, it bordered on parody. However, one detail in the video caught viewers' attention and left many laughing in disbelief. In the clip, Johnny was seen wearing a "Make America Great Again" cap, the infamous slogan associated with Donald Trump and his supporters. The choice of attire wasn't random. With Trump having won the most recent US election, it seems Johnny is making a desperate attempt to appeal to Trump's supporters, possibly in hopes that the former president might somehow intervene in his case. Of course, the internet wasn't going to let this slide without commentary. One user on X joked, "If he legit walked over the DMZ line in the forest, he'd be running in the minefields, and the only remains would be his big toe." Another added, "He's trolling us. North Korea doesn't even have a cellular network, which means he couldn't earn money there. There's no way he'd actually go." The sheer audacity of Johnny Somali's antics continues to amaze and frustrate those following the saga. His attempt to capitalize on Trump's presidency by sporting the MAGA cap is a clear sign of his desperation. However, it's doubtful that even a figure as controversial as Trump would see Somali as a cause worth championing. What's more, his claim of escaping to North Korea is so far-fetched, it's laughable. Even if he somehow made it across the heavily guarded DMZ, he would face an entirely new set of dangers in the world's most secretive and isolated nation. As one user pointed out, North Korea doesn't have the infrastructure or freedom for Johnny to continue his online antics, making the idea of him thriving there absolutely ridiculous. At this point, Johnny Somali's every move reeks of desperation. Whether it's trolling the public, trying to win over a niche audience, or hiding in plain sight, he's running out of options. And fast. Each new stunt digs him into a deeper hole, and it seems like only a matter of time before he faces the full weight of South Korea's justice system. On the contrary, if we hear nothing from Johnny Somali for an extended period, it might mean he's truly fled to North Korea. However, his silence would likely spark even more speculation and outrage. Many people are also furious over how Johnny Somali has manipulated and exploited children in his videos. These kids probably didn't know the full extent of his antics or the offensive things he's done in South Korea. Some believe the entire situation might even be a scam. It's possible Somali orchestrated these stunts to make it appear like he's thriving in South Korea, but the reality is likely far different. He's spiraling and on the verge of losing control. One ex-user tweeted, "None of these kids know how Johnny Somali called for their extermination, how he hoped North Korea bombed South Korea, how he disrespected the comfort women, and how he suggested horrific things about children at large." This user's post shed light on the darker side of Somali's behavior, a side that has earned him international disdain. And yet, amidst all of this, Johnny Somali had the audacity to request that the South Korean courts stop people from reposting his videos, the same videos he willingly live-streamed to millions. Johnny has now claimed he has privacy concerns and doesn't want his live-streamed footage used in court or posted on any public platform. The irony of this request isn't lost on anyone. A man who built his infamy by intentionally provoking outrage now seeks to shield himself from the very exposure he courted. A lawyer known as Illegal Mindset addressed the matter on X, writing, "Johnny is scared and trying to hide. He's attempting to claim privacy of his face through filing false YouTube claims, despite being a public figure. Team YouTube should be aware this is a very public figure, active on social media, who is attempting to hide his own footage." This statement highlights Johnny's desperate attempts to regain control of the narrative, even as the walls close in around him. But just when you thought he couldn't stoop any lower, Johnny reportedly made yet another offensive claim. Days ago, Somali allegedly stated that if his tickets were approved, he planned to return to the statues of comfort women, a reference to the historical monuments dedicated to the victims of wartime sexual slavery. His comments have reignited anger and sparked fresh calls for action against him, with many demanding that he face severe consequences for his repeated disrespect. Johnny Somali's latest moves only confirm what many have suspected all along. He thrives on chaos and attention, no matter how damaging his actions may be. However, as legal pressure mounts and public sentiment remains firmly against him, it's becoming increasingly clear that Johnny's time in the spotlight might soon come to an end. His reckless stunts, vile comments, and manipulative tactics have pushed him to the edge. And now he's scrambling to stay afloat in a sea of well-deserved backlash. And now, his TikTok is officially done for. And it's unlikely Johnny Somali will recover from this one. His repeated offenses have not only cost him his platform, but have also made him a prime target for public outrage. If he even dares to make another mistake, it won't just be the South Korean government that comes down on him. The people themselves might ensure he faces the consequences. Somali's reputation is so tarnished that countless people are now actively reaching out to platforms like YouTube, urging them not to entertain his antics any longer. After all, this isn't his first run-in with the platform. He's been banned from YouTube twice before, and his current channel marks his third attempt to regain footing. Despite his persistence, the overwhelming consensus is clear. Johnny Somali is toxic and problematic. His actions over the years, from disrespecting entire nations to exploiting sensitive topics for clout, have left no room for redemption in the eyes of the public. Now the big question remains, what's next for Johnny Somali? With a streaming career in tatters, legal trouble closing in, and a dwindling bank account, his options seem limited. Some speculate he might resort to desperate measures to keep himself afloat, but the reality is, his future looks bleak. While Somali might think he thrives on attention, the tide has turned. People aren't watching him out of curiosity or amusement anymore. They're watching to see the inevitable downfall of someone who crossed too many lines. So, do you think Johnny Somali is on the verge of going bankrupt in South Korea? What do you think his next move will be? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and let's discuss. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more. Check out the other videos on your screen, and I'll see you in the next one.